particularly for cats, as to what the signs of pain are. A cat that is sleeping more, okay, that might not surprise you. A cat that's going up or down stairs, a cat that goes up or down stairs differently than previously. So, in other words, a cat that goes diagonally upstairs or downstairs. Yes, definitely a cat that's going slower. A cat that hesitates. That hesitation in dogs or cats may be eyesight, because we're often dealing with older animals. So it's more, is it pain? Is it that the dog really can't see where the stair is? Is that the dog feels unsteady because it's not carpeted, but rather on tile? It's hard to say where one issue begins or ends necessarily. But cats, for example, what I tell people to do now is video their cat every year. And at some point in time, when the cat reaches the age of maybe 10, that cat, instead of flying off the end table, is going to kind of slide down the end table. They instinctively do this so they're not pounding on their joints. They don't read a book about it. They don't necessarily follow this conversation about it. They just instinctively do that. Will you, as a pet parent, be able to distinguish that's happening? Probably not. And actually, I have seen videos of cats doing that. I can't catch it unless it's in slow motion, believe it or not. That's how subtle all of this can be. Other signs of pain in cats could be a cat that just kind of scrunched up like this. Now, a cat that's 12 years old is going to be sleeping more than a cat that's 4 years old. And cats in general like to sleep anyway, right? So the cat that's sleeping, that's a bit more scrunched up, how do you tell if the cat's a bit more scrunched up? We are going to have tools, speaking of phones, on our phones through artificial intelligence within the next couple of years that will tell you, just by taking a picture of your cat, that that cat's in pain. It is hard to tell. Now, if we had someone with a keen eye, watch the way she just walked in back of my chair. She walked kind of like this, kind of like old men walk or old women walk, right? No offense to anybody, but she did, right? And you could tell that or you would suggest that there's a reason for that, and the reason is pain. So no one wants their companion animal to be in pain, I don't believe. With cats, we've not been able to do a lot about it. In the United States, there has not been a pharmaceutical that has been made specifically for cats to deal with pain. What's been done for cats, which I'd argue is more challenging than dogs. Yeah, so let me back up a little bit. One more thing. It has always been thought that cats, because they're small, and something else, cats, because they're small, are less likely to ever suffer arthritis. That was the thinking. And that, I guess it kind of makes sense in some ways, right? But it turns out not to be true. So cats are equally or even more predisposed to osteoarthritis than dogs are, believe it or not. The other thinking had been, okay, yes, Labradors, certainly dogs bigger than that. Newfoundlands, all those dogs, they suffer arthritis because of their size, if nothing else. Small dogs do. Well, there's one right there. She's 9 pounds. So small dogs do too. There's no doubt about that. Also, in America, and I'm not sure what the data is in the UK, but it's about the same. In America, 61% of cats are overweight or obese, and half the dogs are. So that exasperates the issue right there. So osteoarthritis is more common in older animals, and it is more common in animals that are overweight and obese, because we have millions, literally, of animals that are both older and overweight or obese. That actually likely potentially increases the number. Also, as we better understand what to look for, as I was yapping about for a few minutes earlier, what determines if a cat or a dog is in pain in the first place. So you can x-ray cats or dogs or people. And so your doctor can x-ray your knee and say, oh my gosh, that's bone on bone. I could actually feel more pain than you. It's all individual. And we don't understand, for humans, to my knowledge, I'm not a human doctor. We don't understand in humans why that's the case, let alone in companion animals. Now, I think it's important to understand all of that as a backdrop. A need to do something about pain that is effective. In cats, as I said, we've used what's called a multimodal approach. and all kinds of things. And I could talk about some of those things in combination, in conjunction with one another. But there has not been something targeted specifically for cats. For dogs, there has been, but the effectiveness varies. The other thing is, these are often older or even geriatric animals. Geriatric animals or older animals also have comorbidities or other conditions, medical conditions that make it impossible. Cats, kidney disease and GI issues, dogs, GI issues, most common, but others potentially as well, that make it impossible to take a nonsteroidal or nearly impossible to comfortably take a nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drug.
Right.
So when other options became available, people might, like myself, been talking about pain in animals for years, long before I knew about even the possibility of Silencia or Librela. Well, okay, so how do you distinguish your pets in pain? And then what might you do about it in conjunction? Because there has been in dogs, especially in cats, no magic pill. And to my limited knowledge, in humans, there's still no magic pill. So
Right.
there are things that can help a lot. And it turns out that millions of animals around the globe are being helped by both of these monoclonal antibodies. Now, that's the longest answer you've ever heard.